Okay, hello everyone. So today is Tuesday, 20th of June. So let's take a look. Now this is gold. I've put the Astro hours here. You'll see a bit of a clutter here. All right. This is because I'm expecting a disruptive move. If the market, whatever you're trading, it doesn't matter. Once it does make its move, it should. This is going to be important. Okay, this is going to be important. And then we've got the US pre-opening and the opening, okay, which is going to be this zone here. And then the 6 o'clock is here, which should make a move. And once it does its move, right, it should kind of like continue. Today is going to be all tricky, but once it's moved, what I'm thinking is going to happen is going to continue into that direction. And in fact, I even put 2:30 here for 2:30 a.m., which is the Asia session here yesterday. Now, as you can see, we've got room to come down here, all right? But it should go up first before it does that. And then if it does continue, it should carry on in the same direction. Okay, so what I want to see basically is if we go up, selling again somewhere, okay, and that should be probably around here, okay, here or maybe there for yesterday. Now remember, Monday was a swing day for gold, okay, I'll put that down on your members area, and this is Friday, and Friday was also a swing day, remember? So Friday was a swing day, so that Monday is a continuation happening. So if we go back up, okay, we should sell somewhere. I just need you to be careful in this zone. Why? Because in this zone, if it says, for example, we're down here, let's say, in the US, right? Once the hour, like the pre-session is over, okay, then it's going to be like, it's going to go in a direction which should continue. So if we're down somewhere, we could be going up all that time until closing as well. All right, so it's just a matter of, matching the time to your support and resistance, or your technical analysis rather, of where you want to buy or sell. So be mindful, it's a bit tricky. And it's also here, as you can see, we've got that trend line liquidity. So the market going up for a while and then reversing would be the way to go. And then we can follow that through. Okay, as you can see in that downwards direction. So these are the hours. So the places to do that would probably be around here as well. So if we see the market coming up here into that zone, it's also possible the market could do that there, or slightly lower because everybody's stop losses here. And we did have an intraday trade yesterday in these Astro hours right there. And then that could kind of like, if it goes up, fills in the gaps here. Okay, it's rather filled in a little bit here, but still that's the case. And then can come back down again. All right, so that's how it is. So I am expecting this trend line to be broken. Okay. So this should get broken. All right. And if it does get broken, we might go back up into that range again. So just be a bit mindful, and then we should come further down. Now, if you take a look at the daily, see how dangerous this is. And the beautiful thing about financial astrology is, despite the fact that this is dangerous shit, look at the market, up, down, up, down, up, down. You'd never know what to really do here. So if we didn't know the swing days, Friday and Monday, and Friday was a high, so Monday coming down, continuing with that, we wouldn't know what to do. So selling at Astro hours yesterday was like really good because it covered the trade and made us some profit, and that was all good until, as you can see, the closing off there, and that's fine. Okay, so that's all good. So here, if the market goes up again, we can look for sells continuing from Friday, Monday down into the next swing days. Let's take a look at the euro dollar. Now the euro dollar, same again. Remember, with the euro dollar, I gave you the swing days for everything yesterday. So what we'd like to see is, what do we like to see with the euro dollar? Now, US was closed yesterday. Despite the fact that US was closed, you could have still gotten in some trades yesterday. I talked about this level, and I've talked about this level as well. I said selling the highs to push down would be the way to go. If we go back up today, which I think we probably will, then you should look for a sell. Okay, so if we go back to the highs of last week or close thereabouts, let's take a look at the PST levels. So on the weekly, you see we've got that level there. Okay, so we're in this zone. Okay, so selling off around here is okay to do so. Let me get rid of this, this, and this. Okay, it tapped in there nicely. On the daily, we're right in that zone there. It tapped into the body of the candle last week. So going back up, this is where we could go back up into. Let me make this a little bit bigger. Okay, so this is your indecision candle. So I'm going to just do this. I'm going to take this and do that. Okay. If you want to be like, if you want to take the body, you could take the body and that's fine. Okay. It might tap back into that body. Let's do this. Let's turn that into that. So we get a better there. Okay. So we could, oh, it's just a crap. Right, that looks better because that was a pretty crap color, wasn't it? Okay, so if we tap back in here, okay, then selling from these levels is good. So what's a good level for that is the good buy kiss at 68, which is 1.0950. So if we get into 1.0950, which is here, this is going to be a nice sell level, which you need to match it to your financial astrological hours, obviously, right? You're not going to be just selling it on the hours, as you know. You got to match price and time. So that is going to be one level we want to be looking at. All right. So from here going up into there and then pushing down is a good idea. So if so wait until either 11 o'clock there because we should push up. Okay. Because we've got a disruptive, we have a disruptive aspect here. Okay. So this should push up. And then it should go into there, and then in this zone we should be looking to sell. So it's either going to be in that indecision bar there, or what you can do is take also the body of this candle, which is going to be there. Okay, so this zone here. They're both okay to do so. But I'd rather do it on a PST level, obviously. 72 is going to be 1.0997, which is a bit far off. 0997. But today, like I said, we've got disruptive aspects. So be careful, okay? Because if it breaks out here, comes back into an astro hour, then it could go all the way up there as well. So be smart, all right? There we go. And that's euro dollar. Now, if the market sells off from here, you have to, once again, be careful about this zone here, all right? This should break. Remember, I marked this in yesterday. If it continues, okay, then you got to look out for the US session, and then the US session should break it down, and then we should bring it down as well. Now, in the US session, what's the downside looking like? 53, and that's 1.0845. So 1.0845 is there. All right, and that's logical too, as you can see, that's that. So I can now take this and do that and push it all the way in there. Okay, so that will be your zone. So, all right, so that will be the target zone. Should tap into there. And on the weekly, let's check out the weekly to see where we could get down to. That's obviously the longer time. We've got 44, 46, which is 1.0676 and 0633. Well, we've got time for that. Okay, so we're not going to do that. But this is nice because the market is coming to a disruptive value, and that's just going to push. Okay, that's just going to push nice and easy. All right, so that should take you up there. If you know financial astrology, that would have been in there for you. All right, so here once again, this is a nice push down. Market should, remember, go back up again. Remember, I gave you all the NASDAQ, Dow, and SP500 swings yesterday as well, and Friday it was also active. So what the market might want to do, New York was closed obviously yesterday, so we might want to go back up in order to push up. But remember, this is like selling here, all right? And that's our Mercury line. We want to be selling big time here to push it all the way back into the Mercury zone there, where you got that level there. Obviously, I'm not going to mark that in because there's already a marking there. Then we should come back into this zone again. Okay, so the levels to look out for on the lower side is 34,026, 33,970, 33,970. Whoopsie daisy. All right. And what was the other one? 34,26. 34,26. All right, so we've got room to come down here. What I would do is look to go up, and in the US session, that's when you want to be, knocking this out, okay? Because then it should kind of like change in a disruptive way. All right, so that's that. On the upper side of things, where would you want to sell this off? Well, this is a bit too far out, but we'll mark it in 34,706, 34, because it could do something crazy there. Okay, so I'm going to get rid of this. Okay, and that's that. Now remember, Dow Jones was a swing day Friday, so as you can see, that's Friday, Monday, Tuesday. All right, so kind of like following through, and we've got those targets there. As you can see, I've got 34.17 on the price as well, which is right in between there. So 34.17 is also going to be right there, as you can see, pretty close to that, as you can see. Okay, and there we are. So that's the weekly. And if there's going to be a disruption, that's a breakout. So if the market pulls back in, it might go up into that direction as well. So 34,840 is on the weekly. That's all the way up there. Okay, so we'll see how things pan out. Okay, if it comes back down as well, because we've got room to fill here. Okay, we've got room to fill. If it comes down there, it's also okay to go along. Yesterday, as you can see, it's like kind of tested those levels which I talked about. So that's what we're going to look out for. If at Astro hours in pre-New York session or New York session, like I said, if we're pulling back, okay, going up is the way to go. Be careful in this zone, and then it might keep going up in that direction. All right, so a bit of a tricky day. SP500, let's take a look. SP500, let's just move that into a 15-minute chart. Let's take a look at the daily. Okay, now for this Friday was also a swing day, as you know. So if we have a pull up, we'd like to go short again and sell from these zones. But this is the first support, and you're never going to be selling on a support. So 4,396 is pretty much where they're buying, right? 4,396. There you go. Okay, and that is the first support of the day. So that's 9.15 at the moment. All right, so we don't have anything at 9.15 on a general basis. So we're going to make this 10 o'clock here. Okay, so be careful which way we're going. If the market breaks down, then on the New York session, if it comes up, you want to be selling again, and then it should sell until the closing. Do you know what I mean? So that's the kind of setup you want to be looking out for as well. I'm going to get rid of this. Okay. So if we go up somewhere, New York session, pre-session, 6 p.m. my time, then you want to be looking for those swings afterwards. And then once we start to turn around, it should like kind of go in that direction. Okay, so going back up to sell off again, and today is Tuesday, so check out your swing days, okay, for the market. Now remember, Monday New York was closed. Okay, and that's that. So we should push up, okay, and we should push up into at least this zone here, there. That was an astro hour yesterday, maybe back in there, or I'll push this forward, right? Could be there, and it could sweep, okay, and then pull back down at astro hours. This is the advantage of astro hours. Or we could be in there, okay, and then the market could pop up here and then sell off as well, taking the stops out of yesterday, filling a bit of a gap here despite the fact that it's pretty much filled out, okay, or just touching it here as a zone and then pulling down, okay. So that's that. On the downside, if we break down, we've got 60, 63, 62, let's say 4,361 to 53, 4361. So we should come down to 4361, which is right there. Okay. And 53 is right there. So we should have this range for us happening. So that's the range we should pop into. Okay. And that's that. So if we sell, we need to target this zone later on, all the way into there. Let's take a look at the upper side. If we go anywhere, we might just tap back into last Friday on the weekly. Let's check it out. 71, 4431. So if we tap back into 4431, 4431 is right there. Okay, and that's your PST level there, 4431 there. And that's also fine. So what you can do is keep that perspective, okay, and push that there. All right, so if we go back up into there and we're in an astro hour, you might think about selling from there, and that will match our Monday as well then, okay. Let's take a look at NASDAQ and Bitcoin. NASDAQ, as you can see, is Friday was also in there. So that zone, as you can see, is what we're looking at to sell off, okay. So what to look out for. If I take a look at the weekly, we're right there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 weeks, we should have a retracement. That's where the tap in is. Okay, so if we tap back in here, well, it's already tapped it last week, and remember Friday was a swing day, so the market went up there. So going back up again for a retest to sell off is not a bad idea, considering New York was on holiday yesterday. Okay, so now what we can do is, this is Friday, see how it sold off right on the Mercury line. Now this is the weekly pivot, that's the daily pivot. So if we go back up into the Venus line, we should look to sell somewhere, and this zone is still looking okay. On the daily, I don't have a PST level, okay? It's way up there. It's 8, it's like 15,438. 15,438 is always, it's like all the way up there. So I'm not going to put that in. On the weekly, I got no place except that, and that's even more higher. So you can either sit and wait on this one, or you can say we've got 15,243, which is there, and 15,015. So 15,243, 15,243. So this doesn't look too bad. Okay, so this doesn't look bad at all. So we can go back to retest the high of last week, and then that will also be the Venus line retested, like here the Mercury line being tested. And if it's an astro hour, then you can sell off from here. Okay, so then we got your astro hours going to be around here. What you want to be looking for is the New York pre-session. 3:30 is going to be important for us. From 3:30 to 4 o'clock is going to be important. Okay, so this zone is going to be important. And then what's going to be important is once it starts turning around, 6 o'clock is the time when it can also turn around. Okay, so if we go there, let's say pull back down and then go back up, then that's a sell zone to push down. Then once it starts going down, it could do that. If it comes, let's say it went up and then came down into here, goes up, comes back down to retest, then it's a buy in order to go up. Okay, Bitcoin, let's take a look at the daily. Going towards the channel top there as well. Now the swing days for Bitcoin are also posted, so you can trade on those days. Okay, and this might go back up into that zone to sell off as well. You see there's a lot of trend line liquidity coming on the bigger time frame, and there's a breakout here. Once there's a breakout, don't stand in front of it. So they obviously want to take it somewhere. Okay, and that's your weekly 54, 26.852859, 26.859. So it's somewhere around here. Okay, so that's the weekly level. So also it's not a bad place also to sell off, actually, this zone, but I wouldn't. Okay, wait to see what happens with this one. Don't rush it. Okay, don't rush into it simply because, okay, I said it would tap down here. It has, as you can see. So going up is normal. Okay, and then let's get rid of these. Going up is normal. It might just go up, retest some level, and come back down again. Okay, so it could sell off from here, this bar here, just mark them in, this bar, or this bar here. Okay, this one, this little one. Okay, to push down. So selling again is not a bad idea. If it comes up, especially takes out the stop losses above the line and then comes back down, it's doable. I'd wait for a better setup with this one because on the weekly, it's also above. On the daily sub, so it's probably going to pull up. If you want to buy it, then do this. If you want to buy it, then wait for the market to pop down onto the daily pivot here at an astro hour, or slightly lower like the lows of yesterday to go up. Okay, so Monday was a swing day for this. So if that swing day holds any pullback, you can go up into there. That could be an intraday trade. Okay, and that's that.